Welcome to our explainer. Today, we're diving into a skin condition that's super common, but honestly, pretty misunderstood: seborrheic dermatitis. Our goal here is to help you swap out any of that frustration for some real practical understanding.
So, have you ever dealt with that flaky scalp that just won't quit? Or maybe you've got some reddish, kind of itchy patches on your face or chest. If you've been sitting there wondering, what is going on with my skin? Trust me, you are not alone. And it all might just have a name.
So, what is this thing? Seborrheic dermatitis? I know, it sounds super complicated, but it's actually a really common skin story. Let's get right into it and put a name to that frustration. Okay, so here's the deal. Seborrheic dermatitis is a skin condition that really likes to hang out in the oilier parts of your body. Two words you need to remember are common and chronic. Common because, seriously, millions of people have it. And chronic because, well, it's a long-term thing that can flare up and then calm down. So how do you know if you have it? What does it actually look and feel like? Let's decode the symptoms so you know exactly what signs your skin might be sending you. The classic signs? You're looking at red, itchy patches of skin. You'll probably see flakes. But here's the key difference from just dry skin. They can be kind of yellowish and even feel a little greasy. When this happens on your scalp, yep, that's what we call dandruff. And you'll spot it in those oily zones, around the sides of your nose, in your eyebrows, maybe even on your chest.
And here's something really interesting. These flare-ups aren't totally random. A lot of the time, they're triggered by things we all go through, like a really stressful week at work, or even just when the weather turns cold and dry. You ever notice a pattern like that?
Okay, this all leads to the big question, right? Why? Why is this happening? To really get it, we've got to look behind the itch and see what's going on under the surface. Turns out it's basically a perfect storm of three main things. First, you've got an overgrowth of a yeast called malassezia. Now hold on, this yeast is totally normal. It lives on everyone's skin. The issue is when you get too much of it. And what does it love to eat? Well, that's factor number 2, excess oil or sebum. The yeast literally feeds on it. And the third piece of the puzzle is your own body's response. Your genetics and your immune system decide how much inflammation you get from this little yeast part. All right, so we know what it is, what it looks like, and what causes it. Now let's get to the most important part. What can you actually do about it? Think of this next section as your own personal management toolkit, filled with strategies to help you take back control. We can break the action plan down into 3 simple steps. First up, your go-to starting point is often a medicated shampoo or wash. You'll want to look for active ingredients like ketoconazole, zinc pyrithione, or selenium sulfide. These are awesome at controlling the yeast. Now, if things are really flaring up and just not getting better, it's time for step 2, talk to a doctor. They can prescribe things like a mild steroid cream to get that inflammation down fast. And step 3 is the foundation for everything, building good daily habits. This just means regular, gentle cleansing and steering clear of harsh products that might make things worse. And finally, let's talk about the long game, because managing your expectations for the future is probably the biggest key to managing this whole thing without getting totally fed up. Okay, first, let's bust a huge myth right now. Seborrheic dermatitis is absolutely 100% not contagious. You can't catch it from someone and you can't give it to anybody. Period. It just doesn't work that way.
Now for the reality check. Like we said at the beginning, this is a chronic condition. That means it's probably going to be a long-term thing that comes and goes. So the goal isn't to make it disappear forever. That can be a frustrating road. The real goal is to learn how to manage the flare-ups so they have way less impact on your day-to-day life.
And that brings us to a final thought, a way to kind of reframe this whole thing. What if managing your skin is less about a frustrating hunt for a cure and much more about the empowering process of finding your own personal balance? Figuring out your routine, your triggers, and what works just for you. Now that's a powerful idea. Thanks so much for joining us.